Hi everyone, thank you for joining me. This is Connie with Prairie Paper Crafts. Had some requests to share with you how I do my tissue holder layout. This is what I'm going to be putting on there, so I'm going to just go ahead and jump in and show you that. This file is from Little Scraps of Heaven Designs. It's the little itty bitty snowman, I think that's what he's called. And then I have a rosette cut from a file, and then I just have it's a 4-inch doily. I've just added some glitter stickles to both the rosette and the doily for the little snowman for his hat band, his neck scarf, and his nose. I first put stickles on, let it dry, and then I put glossy accents over the top. You'll have to excuse my voice. I'm sorry, it's cutting in and out. It's hopefully it gets better. I'm sorry about that. But I'm going to go ahead and give you the measurements of the tissue holder itself. It just starts with a 11 by 4 1/4 piece of paper cardstock. You can get two, obviously, out of one 8.5 by 11 piece. I'm using a heavier white cardstock. My other one, I used some cardstock from Stampin' Up, and it worked out just fine. I'm going to give you the score marks, and I already scored mine just to save some time. But if you start with the long piece at the top, this first score mark, let's be right here. This is at 4.5 inches. And I'll try to remember to put this in the description box for you. Excuse me. The next score mark is at 7 inches. So this next one, 7. Next one at 8. And 10.5. So that's really easy to do. Before you assemble anything, you do want to cut your layering pieces if you wish. Mine are all 1/8 of an inch smaller. What I did first is from this 4.5 inch score line, I measured up 1 inch on each side to put a little tick mark so I know where this is going to fit at, just to give you an idea there. So this top piece I cut, it's going to be, try to hold this up a little bit. So this is going to be, the background of your piece. I only put my designer paper, so it's like, again, just 1/8 of an inch above the tick mark. So this piece is to this first score mark. It's 4.5 inches minus an inch, because that's where your piece is going to go, fold up. So you actually have 3.5 inches by 4 1/4 inches to work with. So kind of keep that in mind. If you go all the way to the first score line, it's not a big deal. My other one I did. So I don't do anything with this, but I do cut my pieces. This is where the tissue is going to come out of. I have, cut actually 2 pieces. And this is just between the 2 score lines. It's 2.5 inches wide, 4 1/4 this way tall, if that's the way you're measuring it. But anyway, and then I just made my pieces 1/8 of an inch smaller. And then you have this piece that you're going to see. Would have helped if I'd got the other one, I apologize. But you're going to see down here, this is 1 inch tall by 4 1/4 inches wide. And I just put 1 piece there. That design, or that sentiment, is just from the computer. I just generated it, so you can do it however. And then I have this stamp that I stamped out and put on another piece of dark paper. It is from Shaded Blossom. It's the co-worker set. It says Get Well. It's just a co-worker set though. And then to make the piece, where the tissue pulls out of, and I apologize, I still haven't been to the store to get any yet, and where these two are going to go on, I am using, these are very old, Spellbinders Nestabilities. I am using the Petite Scalloped Ovals Small. This is the scalloped, yeah, it says it. I'm sorry, mine is not with it today. And then the Petite Ovals Small. I'll get you the sizes here in a moment. But what I'm doing, you can see how badly my containers are. They're all cracked, and they always have stayed together, though I've not lost any pieces. I put them in the wrong spot sometimes, but not that I've lost them. I'm looking for, so from the non-scalloped, I'm using the smallest die. It is, excuse me, I'm going to turn it over, it's easier. It's about 2 1/8 inches long, and it's about 1 1/8 inch tall. Now keep in mind the actual part where it cuts is about 7/8 inch tall, and should be about, yeah, 1 7/8 inch wide. That's important if you're doing anything with like a design space, or what do I want to say? If you're using like silhouette and you make your own ovals, that'd be really important, because you could design this on Cricut Design Space or however you wish. That's completely up to you. That's the piece that'll be going on here, and I'll show you how I do that in a moment to make it easier. And there's a reason there's marks there. Before I do all of that, I cut this oval ring out as a decorative piece that'll go around the opening. Okay, so how I do that, I take my small die. This is the second from the smallest die. I run these, put them together, and then on a scratch, or on whatever color I want this oval to be, okay, and I'm using just the same color as this, but I just put it on, I run it through, and then I get this cut out. So this oval die, I'm going to give you the inside measurements only, since that's what you really would be using when you're cutting. It is, goodness, about 2 5/8 long by 1 3/8 inch high. So that's the first step you do. Give me a quick moment. I just need to have my computer going, trying to get some stuff done there too. I'm so sorry. I shouldn't do too many things at once. So again, just put these two, or if you're doing it on Design Space, just have it so they, you group them and get them all centered and everything. Okay, so this piece where I'm going to use the smallest die, I'm going to glue, if you did 2 layers, if you didn't, fine, but I'm going to glue my 2 pieces together quick, and then I'll show you how I actually run them through and mark them and everything. It just works better for me. Sometimes I'm very methodical about how I do things. May not always be the right way, but it's the way my mind wants it to work and do it. So just to give you an idea, I'm going to center these the best I can. These are all just 1/8 of an inch border. What I did was I took my scalloped piece that I'm using for my border. laid it on where I thought it was pretty much the center. And then I just put some little pencil marks. I don't know if you can see those little marks very well, but that's where I will be putting my die, basically, just so I can kind of get it centered in there so my other piece will go around it. But before I do that, I want to put this on so I can cut through all 3 layers. This piece is going to go the first score mark after your 1/2 inch piece here. If you have a directional paper, make sure you're paying attention to how it's going. So the piece, the top, like say the arrows are going up, for example, they want to be facing that 1/2 inch. And let's see if I have any paper that's got, well, I will do this for you. I'm going to take a little piece of paper. I don't know where my scissors is, close by. So oops, really, well, I guess that's going to get covered up, but didn't mean to do that. Let's say you have arrows. Going, or you know, your pattern direction is going that way. Okay, you put this on like this, and you put it together, it'll be facing right. If you put it, your 1/2 inch fold line is up there. Okay, so keep in mind your pattern's going this way at you. You're basically going to be upside down. So again, whoops. You have a pattern, you want it to go toward that 1/2 inch piece. Hope that made sense. I just thought about that when I was going to show you how to put this on. Oh, I'm just adding glue, sorry. That, yeah, there's a way this has to go. So, all right. I'm going to glue this on. As I was trying to put this, well, design it, so to speak, and kind of make sure everything looked okay and all went together, I really got to get my clips out, just because it would have been easier if I could have held stuff together a little bit, but it all worked. This 1/2 inch piece you aren't going to worry about because it's going to go back here. But so far, that's what it's going to look like. Now, what I'm going to do, I don't have any tape out here, so I'm going to have to really make sure this doesn't move, right? This might take a moment. I'm just bringing in my big shot plates. I don't have the fancy metal dies and everything. I don't need all that. I can make it work. Just kind of trying to line this up about where it is in the middle. So I'm going to take this over to my big shot and run it through. I'll just leave that for a moment because this will take me a moment. I apologize. And I have to stand up to see what I'm doing because I'm at a crazy angle. I have to run this through a couple times because it's fairly thick. All right, let's see what we have here. It's pretty close to center. Get this back out of the way. See if I can get that cut all the way through. Didn't cut very well through. I'm going to try it a couple more times to run it through. I wonder, just because that paper, when you're going through 3 layers and glue, the designer paper, this one is heavier, and with the white paper being heavier, it doesn't surprise me. So let's see if it went through this time. a couple more times. I'm sorry, I don't want to use a shim. Well, I might try it this one, see if it'll... Oh, I have too much stuff here. I'm trying to keep very limited stuff on my work surface because I unfortunately will be moving, and I'm trying to keep things, I don't know why I'm off surface here. Nothing ever works when I'm on video. Well, I don't know why that is. That's crazy. Anyway, I will be moving here shortly. Or so the plan is. And I cleaned up my craft closet where I keep all my stuff. And I'm trying to keep that as clean as I can and my work surface clean. Looks like it probably came through pretty good this time. Yeah, okay, so wonderful. Get that out of the way. And I'm working at like at a 45 degree, no, excuse me, 90 degree angle. So I'm kind of sitting at a goofy angle when I'm doing this. So, okay, I'm going to just erase these pencil marks that are showing here. I'm just a little bit off, but so I'm going to leave it. So then when I come back in and I attempt to line this up, I learned something with these spellbinder dies. There is an upside, they fit, so there's like a top and a bottom, the way they go. I don't know how I came across that, and I know ovals are much more difficult to line up, so, but, whoops, it moved on me. So that's how it'll go. I'm going to put this in here. If you want to make your opening a little bit smaller, you certainly can if you're, like I said, using it in design space or have a little bit smaller dies. That's certainly fine. Okay, didn't mean for that to take so terribly long. I apologize. So far, we're good. Now, the next piece I'm going to do is my piece here. And again, you want the 1/2 inch fold score at the top. That's going to be where you want it, so it's not upside down. So I'm going to pop this on. You can decorate these however you wish. I will tell you, I'm pretty sure when I watch the videos, the part that I'm going to show you next is actually meant to be flat, so you could put it in a, an envelope if you were not sending, excuse me, the Kleenexes with it. So basically, once it folds, it will fold flat. If you don't have anything chunky up here, but I've given up on flat. I was looking at some things, beautiful cards, but I decided, they make them chunky too, so I'm just gonna pay the price for shipping on my cards and stuff. I'll never keep things flat anymore. Just very seldom. Doesn't work for me. I like foam tape and stuff too, so that all adds texture. I do not erase my score lines so I can keep things straight. They actually don't show because I end up going a little bit, but anyway. Before I do this though, I like to assemble it so I know where things are going. So this 1/2 inch score line, excuse me. You only put tape, adhesive on that 1/2 inch score line right up to basically to the score line. You can use tape if you want, that's up to you. I like to kind of hold it back, fold it flat best I can, and make sure I'm just going just so the score lines don't show, and then get it straight on both sides. I did burnish my score lines before I started, just so everything would lay better. And there's a little bit of a score, or a little bit of a tick mark that was showing there. I can't get it. It's the best I can do, so got a little bit of a hair. I'm just a tiny bit off. I don't think I folded too straight, so snag that off a bit. So then your Kleenex box or Kleenex tissues would just go through the side here. I'm going to work on decorating it next. I had this kind of figured out. I have to put mine up a little bit. It'll be over the top. I'm fine with that. And then my get well. I had this figured out where I kind of wanted this. I was playing with it a little bit earlier. I'm not sure. I'm thinking of putting my get well down here. Excuse me again, my stinking voice, it bothers me. I'm going to try to hold it up a little bit and see if I see, nope, that covers up my L's and W are in well. Let's try this. Okay, I'm going to put not sure I want to do this. I'm going to put adhesive just on the bottom piece, the bottom end of this. It will hold it fine, so I can still get my doily behind there. And so I can move this around if I need to. So I kind of know where it's going to go. And okay. I'm going to put a little pencil mark here. Sorry, this is how I actually do things when it's me just doing things by myself. I take things off, I put it back on, I have to figure out where it fits the best. So I'm just putting glue on the round part of the doily. I did pop up the let's see, just the snowman's popped up. Because of the dimension on the snowflake, it didn't need any more. It's got enough. I'm not going to put that down too tight yet. Just putting some glue on the get well now, and see if I can make this all come together the way I want. How about that? It's over further. Let's see. It does have to come a little bit. This has to come up. Just trying to keep it straight, see how it works. I'm going to let it go at that. You'll be able to read it. Just, let's see if I can get back behind that doily now. Excuse me, a little more adhesive. It's very dry here right now, meaning hardly any snow on the ground, and with the type of heating system we have, things dry out very quickly. So you wouldn't think so, but they do. So just want to make sure this stays on good. Okay, we'll just call this blooper number how many ever videos I've done, right? Once you get the Kleenex tissue in there, it will hold very well. But that is my, I'm going to try to tilt it a little bit, my Kleenex tissue box holder. Sorry for all the issues in there. I'm not going to decorate it any further. I'm good with it just the way it is. So thank you all for joining me. If you have any questions, please leave a comment and I will get back to you. Otherwise, thank you all for joining me. Have an awesome day. Take care, everybody.